All right, let's jump right in. We're about to crack the code of the PTE academic test. I'm not just going to tell you what's on it, but how to strategically beat it to get the score you need. And trust me, you'll want to forget the old rules because the game has completely changed.
Look, I get it. You're here because this test, it's a pretty big deal. It's standing between you and your visa, your dream university, or a whole new life in another country. The stakes are super high, so let's make sure you're not just ready, but you're ready to win.
Okay, this right here, this is the absolute first thing you have to understand. The PTE is not like other tests because it uses something called integrated scoring. So what does that mean? It means being great at speaking doesn't just get you a high speaking score. It actually pumps up your listening score too. It's like a 2-for-1 deal, and that's our secret weapon.
But hold on. Before we get into all the strategy, you need to know about the single biggest change to this test, maybe ever. It's not just a computer grading you anymore. Yep, you heard me. Real, live, human examiners have officially entered the chat.
So what does this actually mean for you? Well, for these specific tasks, it means the old tricks are dead. You know those templates everyone used to memorize and just cram full of keywords? Yeah, those are toast. A human is potentially listening, which means one thing is now king: relevance.
So here's our game plan. We'll start with the basics, then dive into the absolute engine of this test, speaking. After that, we'll hit the other sections and wrap it all up with a concrete practice plan you can literally start today. Let's start at square one. You can't win the game if you don't know the rules, right? And the number one rule of PTE is understanding how all the pieces of the puzzle fit together. And this shows you exactly what I was talking about. Look at that. Speaking heavily feeds into your listening score. Writing tasks give you a nice boost in reading. This is why we don't just practice aimlessly. We focus on the tasks that give us the biggest bang for our buck across the entire test.
Which brings us to the beast, the most critical part of the entire exam. If the PTE test were a car, the speaking section would be its powerful engine. It drives everything. A high score here is absolutely non-negotiable because it fuels your speaking and your listening scores. Your entire speaking score boils down to just these 3 pillars: fluency, pronunciation, and content. Now let's break down what each of these really means, because it's probably not what you think.
First up, fluency. And the biggest mistake people make is thinking fluency means talking super fast. It doesn't. The system is listening for a smooth, natural rhythm, like you're having a normal conversation. A natural pause here and there is fine, but you want to avoid those awkward ums and ahs that kill the flow. Next, pronunciation. And let me be crystal clear on this. Your accent does not matter. Period. This test is taken by people from all over the world. All that matters is that you speak clearly enough to be understood. That's it. Simple as that.
And finally, content. This is where those human examiners have really shaken things up. You don't have to perfectly describe every tiny detail on a chart, but everything you say must be about what you're seeing or hearing. If there's a graph about movies, talk about movies. Stay on topic. It's relevance over perfect accuracy.
Okay, let's switch gears to writing. Now, the good news here is you don't need to be a creative genius. This section is all about strategy. It's a game of structure, and there are 2 main tasks we need to master.
For summarized written text, don't overcomplicate it. Just follow this recipe. Find 3 or 4 key points from the text, stitch them together into one single sentence using connectors. Make sure it fits the word count. And finally, maybe swap out a couple words to show off your vocabulary. It's a formula, and it just works.
Now for the essay, this slide says it all. The old method of just memorizing a generic template and dropping in some key words, that's dead. The new way is to have a flexible structure. You know, an intro, a couple of body paragraphs, a conclusion, but you fill it with ideas that actually answer the question. It all comes back to being relevant. All right, let's talk about reading and listening. In these sections, you have to be smart, because not all questions are created equal. Time is tight, so you have to be ruthless and pour your energy into the tasks that give you the biggest payoff. For reading, this chart tells the whole story. See that massive slice of the pie? That's for the fill-in-the-blank questions. That's where you should spend almost all of your time and energy. And the multiple-choice questions. See how tiny that slice is? They're barely worth any points, so don't get stuck on them.
And for listening, oh man, this is the best trick in the book. Write from dictation gives you a ton of points. So get this, if you hear a sentence and you're not sure if they said a solution or the solution, just type both. The computer only gives you points for the correct words and completely ignores the wrong ones. It's a total game changer.
Okay, so we've covered the strategy. We know what's important and maybe more importantly, what's not important. Now, let's put it all together into a simple daily plan to get you that top score.
This is it, your daily battle plan. Forget about practicing a million different question types. Just focus your time on these 5 high-impact tasks. They cover all the skills, speaking, listening, reading, and writing, and are the absolute fastest way to improve your score. Do this every day, and you will see results.
So there you have it. The strategy is here, the plan is clear. The only thing missing now is you. Remember, it's not about practicing harder, it's about practicing smarter. So the real question is, are you ready to focus on what truly matters and go get that score you deserve?